Hello everybody and welcome back to the resumption of the Battle of the Radicals here at the Radical Race Series this season. It is round 8 from Lime Rock Park here tonight. Just 45 second laps, even less than for the pole position here tonight in these SR8s and SR10s as we're using the layout without any chicanes here. So we're taking out the uphill chicane through turn 5. Instead, that's a fast right-hander, or indeed through West Bend, which is also a fast right-hander instead of quite a tight hairpin there. Looking forward, or chicane indeed. Looking forward to this one once again. 2 races again here tonight. Myself and Larry James Parfitt bringing you the action here tonight. And yeah, it's a circuit everybody's going to be familiar with, James. Certainly everyone that has Lime Rock Park. I don't know how much Radicals racing will have been done around here in recent times. I don't remember it being on the schedule that often, but I've got to say, having watched these SR8s and SR10s go through here so far through practice, it looks like an entertaining drive for the guys tonight.
It's going to be quick, let's put it that way. It's going to be very, very fast indeed, and it's just going to, hopefully, everybody should have driven this track with MX-5s, right? Because this is one of the tracks that you start off with. I think it's your very first track, if I'm not mistaken. It's been years since I've been driving. But I believe that this is one of the very first ones, and you should be able to make it round here, right? It's just a giant oval, just with turn 1 on.
I mean, it...
Well, it is.
You look at the track map there and it does make it look maybe a bit more simple than it actually is, but it's certainly not the most technical racetrack in the world. That's for sure. And yeah, well, it's certainly the first track that I drove when I got iRacing and progressed through the rookie divisions all those, a couple of years ago now. So yeah, it is one that everyone will be absolutely familiar with. Let's have a look at the championship standings heading into tonight, because we do have the possibility that championship leads could change here tonight. Ray Peasley is leading in the SR10s by only 2 points in front of Heinz Braun now, so it's almost whoever does better than the other tonight will leave as the championship leader. Dominic Pavera is the best of the rest, another 50 points back, with Patricio Silva now ahead of Phil Glover after Glover missed another race last week at Willow Springs. Seth Brown also moved ahead of Bruno Vitorino last week as well, with a great performance from him. Robert Woodward and Manuel Mandica, who moved up 2 places ahead of Freddie Schreiber and George Gonzaga, who round out the field there of guys who've done at least 2 races so far. And in the SR8, Simon Renan is leading by 33 points now in front of Mike Bouston. They're the 2 contenders, really. Stefan Mellis has been here the whole season, but he's a bit further behind. Ollie Gullickson is 4th ahead of Steve Webb, who moved ahead of Hover Gullickson with his and into the top 5 last week. James Barry is still 7th ahead of Ketil Larson, who moved up ahead of Jamie Bird and Philip Elliott-Smith last week. And Jarek Skreswood rounds out the field. Skreswood, by the way, has had 1 go in each car so far here this season over the course of the 7 rounds we've had so far. So it is the SR8s, I think, which is, the SR10s, I should say, as far as the championship is concerned, that will be focused on. Heinz Braun is currently third in this session, but I believe he's first of the SR10s in the session at the moment, and the time gaps are very small as you'd expect at such a short circuit. So yeah, let's see if Heinz Braun can finally take that championship lead away here. And don't forget, he has missed around so far this season compared to Ray Peasley, who, as we know, have been here every time and been very consistent and therefore been at the top of the standings for a very long time. But Heinz Braun is really nipping at his heels now.
Yeah, he definitely is. Good old Peasley. He's making you eat your words a little bit. He's survived to round 8 out in front at the moment in time, so it'd be interesting to see how much further he can go. He is sitting down in 7th at the moment, with Heinz Braun in 3rd. So, you know, we'll play that one by ear. Could the championship change this evening? We're going to find out on that one. It's interesting, actually, in the SR8s, because there's quite a big gap between the first 4. There's like nearly 200 points, I think, or 199 points between 1st and 4th. Interesting to see how far James Barry can get in the SR8s. I think that's going to be the one for me. I just wonder how far he can actually get if he takes part in the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, definitely into the top 5. That's not such a big gap to get up to Steve Webb and Hover Gullickson. But yeah, how much further maybe can he get here? Can he maybe even sneak a top 3 by the end of the season? We'll wait and see. He certainly started off tonight very well with a pole position from Lime Rock Park in front of Mike Bouston. Heinz Braun is then in 3rd place, best of the SR10s. Ketil Larson's 4th ahead of Phil Glover, who gets top 5 in qualifying. Steve Webb alongside him. Ray Peasley starts 7th in front of Patricio Silva, with Dominic Pavera and Stefan Mellis inside the top 10. And Manuel Mandica is 11th. So one driver will miss out on the reverse grid for race 2, but a couple of big performances in there, not least Phil Glover into the top 5 there.
Yeah, I know, that's absolutely amazing. But can he, Mr. O'Leary, hang on to it? Can he get his elbows out? Can he fight for it? Can he go for it? Has Phil got it in him to be able to do that? That's what we want to see from him. That's what I want to look at, and that's what I'm hoping for with Phil this evening. Can he fight?
Yeah, indeed. Well, we've seen him start from the front in the past with the reverse grids, and that generally hasn't served him very well when he's been at the front on these starts. But yeah, maybe middle of the pack this time round. An actual feeling of deserving to be there as well, because of it's his qualifying performance this time rather than a reverse grid. Maybe that will just help Phil Glover a little bit battle his way to a good finish here at Lime Rock Park tonight. Well, all 11 drivers are now on the grid. It took about a minute and a half to get there, but here we go. The lights will about to come on, and here we go, ready for the start of this race. James Barry then off at the front, trying to get off to a good start, but it's Mike Boutsen who launches better in the SR8 alongside him, and he goes round the outside and towards turn 1 to take the lead, although he's got in quite hot. He slides, he saves it before going off at least, but he gives the lead straight back to James Barry, who leads coming through the end of the first sector.
Yeah, great start from Mike there, but unfortunately just couldn't hold it on for turn number 1. Have you noticed what car Mr. Barry is in?
He's in an SR10 again, yeah.
He's back in a 10. He's doing my nutting. He's causing havoc with me blinking system here. I tell you, I've got to try and change him again now. But yeah, James Barry in an SR10 this week, not an SR8. I wonder if he's picked the wrong one.
Entirely possible. I think, you know, we know that James is obviously one of the best radical drivers around, but he does come here for a bit of fun on a Thursday night, so I think we'll continue to see him switch each week, to be honest with you. There goes Heinz Braun, by the way, straight past Mike Boutsen. A better run out the final corner for Heinz Braun, and he's up to second place there is Braun. So nice pass down the inside on Mike Boutsen, who therefore still is the SR8 leader. It is Larson next in line, who he'll be fighting with for that leading position, as the first driver off the road is Emmanuel Mandika down the back end of the field coming through turn 3.
It's going to be that bit. That's going to be the interesting bit for me coming up the hill. What is that going to be like? Are they going to be launching in these cars, or are they not going to be launching? It's going to be interesting to see is who's going to jump and who isn't going to jump. And it looks like at the moment that pretty much most of them do have a little bit of a takeoff on that jump.
It's always a little bit of a discussion point there. It's always a very difficult corner to manage when you're getting on the power out there through turn 5, as it is here. Helpfully called the uphill through turn 5, and that describes exactly what it is. Through turn 4, they also called very helpfully the right-hander. Not very inventive with the names around here, I must say. Pavera's also off the road through the very same corner that Mandika went off, by the way, on the previous lap. So that is 2 of our SR10s with trouble down the back end of the field. But yeah, they're back going again, at least without damaging themselves too much, as they cross the line and get out single file very quickly here, actually spreading out quite quickly in the first 3 laps.
Yeah, they are, which is a little bit further than I thought they were going to be. Ray Peasley's in there at the moment. He's battling away with Steve Webb. This is a 10-8 battle. Unfortunately, James Barry is not changing class, which is really doing my head in at this moment in time as well. I'm pressing all the buttons and nothing's happening, but James Barry is in a 10. Okay, be prepared on that. I'll be aware of that one. He's not in an 8, so he will go silver, hopefully, after this session is finished. But at the moment, Peasley's battling away with Webb. Then we've got Gomez, Mellis, Pavera and Mandika behind him. We can have a quick look and see what happened to Mandika here as well. And it looks like he's just gone and spun it up around turn 3. And unfortunately, 3DS has just got it all a little bit wrong. And then Dominic Pavera as well has also gone and done the same thing.
Pretty much. Pavera didn't need the grass as Mandika did, but nevertheless, they both go for the same spin. And they're down the back end of the field, 10th and 11th between them. As we briefly look at Ray Peasley there, and there's his championship rival, Heinz Braun, who's currently second in this race. And as things stand, would be overtaking Peasley in the championship for SR10s here at the Radical Race Series this season. The 2 different classes are scored differently here, don't forget. So the SR10 championship and SR8 championships are separate, as they have been for a few seasons now. since we've taken on this multi-class element. I've got to say, so far, I know it's a SR10 1-2, but seems that it's fairly balanced. It's going to be quite hard to see the straight line speed difference that we've been commenting on so much over the last few weeks, especially last week at Willow Springs. It's going to be hard to see that at a circuit with barely any straights at all.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, it is practically one big giant oval as Braun runs a little bit wide there. Barry does the same thing, and Mike Bousson nearly almost follows him at the moment there. But it's going to be interesting for me now as well, because we're nearly at the right balance, right? We've talked about it a couple of weeks now. George in that is working frantically, and they're almost there. They are literally almost there together, where these cars do battle competitively amongst each other. And you can see that at the moment with Bousson out up there, Larson's up there as well, and obviously Barry, Braun and Glover sitting in the 10s. So we are very, very close. Fastest lap for James Barry, 44.8.
Yeah, another fastest lap. Expect to see a lot of those over the course of today, but the improvements are so small at such a short circuit. So we go on board with Phil. He's holding his own very, very well here. Didn't get too frightened at the start and jump out the way of anybody. Just held his line, held his nerve, and he's running in a legitimate top 5 here. I wonder if he might say, well, I would be in the top 5 because the SR10's a bit stronger, but he's often downplaying his own ability, so we won't take that too much. But he's running confidently and solidly inside the top 5, over the line again. New personal best from Heinz Braun there, 45.0, and Glover in the 45.6s again. He's been hovering around that mid 45s pretty much all race so far in this pretty confident and consistent run so far.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He hasn't, mind you, there is not a pace, there isn't a battle behind him. There isn't Steve Webb climbing all over his bum, and he's not climbing all over Kettle Larson's. He was close, but that first sector seems to kill Phil a little bit. The speed of the 10 brings him in quite nicely going into 1, but then when he gets through 1, Big Bend, S's Big Bend out the other side, he seems to struggle. And then over the course of, as we know, over the course of 20 laps, it's going to materialise and be bigger and bigger and bigger as the gap. You can see it now coming down 1.7, 1.6, just about 1 point early 7s. But then watch through this section and then through the next section, he loses a bit of time. There he goes, back up to 1.8, 1.9, and then it's going to carry on. But is that where we talk about the SR10s cornering over the SR8s? And if that is the case, should Barry not be caught by Mike, or should Braun not be caught by Mike Bousson if the 8's quicker in the corners?
Yeah, I see what you mean. And Braun's been off the road a couple of times, just for a brief moment in the last couple of laps. So maybe he is feeling the pressure just a little bit here that he's under from Mike Bousson, although Bousson's not exactly crawling all over the back of him. So it is, although there's a personal best lap, and that was Barry a little bit wide there into the grass briefly. So the gap for the lead now goes below a second. There's the difference over the course of the last 5 laps between the two of them. Bousson gaining last lap, but losing on the 2 before that, and gained the 1 before that. So these two trading lap times really pretty closely. And in any case, is Bousson actually going to be able to make a pass when he gets there is another question entirely.
Well, this is the biggest question. Look at this, Barry over Braun. Barry was quicker on 8, quicker on 9. He's not going to be quicker here because he made that mistake. So Braun should grab this one with 10 laps to go. It'll be interesting to see how close he can get now and whether or not he can get any closer. Brings him down. 7 tenths on 1 lap. But that is obviously Barry's mistake as well.
Well, indeed. But even so, Braun still has to put the laps in, still has to do the closing. But that is significant in 1 lap. 7 tenths around here is a really big percentage. I mean, it's about 2%, and that's quite a big percentage when you see these guys so evenly matched as Barry and Braun always are over the top of the hill through the uphill. Not sure Bousson's quite going to get here. It looks like he is going to hold on to SR8 honours ahead of Kettle Larson. He's leading by 2.5 seconds, but as far as getting to these two might be a bit more tricky. 9 laps to go at the end of this one. This dizzying race here as they go through every lap, every 45 seconds. Braun losing ever so slightly, 2/3 of a tenth that time.
Yeah, it's not massive amounts, is it? It's really interesting when we talk on lap times when you're commentating, because you make 7 tenths sound massive, and it's barely a blink in an eye. You know what I mean? And he lost barely nothing last time around, and he's gaining. So Barry's going to start feeling the pressure. He's only got to make one mistake, one jump wrong, or one last corner wrong, or anything through West Bend, diving turn, and he's going to be done by Braun. So he's got to be careful. Braun is quick up through that uphill, back straight West Bend area, and now he's going to pull him in as quickly as possible down into one. And Buson's not a million miles away, so any contact with these two, and you can guarantee Buson's going to jump on them.
Problem is actually making progress here. Braun is going to have to get alongside somewhere, get a run out of somewhere where there's an overtaking chance afterwards. That could be very, very difficult, but let's wait and see here as they come through the middle sector now. Braun goes a little bit wide, and you've got to be very careful clipping the grass there. It's a real drop-off out there, and if you clip the grass too hard, you could end up in the wall, and obviously that means you'll be out of the running for the race. Indeed, you might be out the race entirely. Over the top of the hill again before they go back down towards the final turn, and let's remember Mandika just in front of them, by the way, who might well be just a bit of an obstacle for James Barry here in the next few moments in the SR10. We'll see how easily the lap car gets out the way here. In fact, he's going to go off at turn 1, and Barry and Braun go straight through.
Yeah, well, he made it easy. I don't think he did that on purpose. Well, he might have done it on purpose, or he just might have made a mistake. And if he made a mistake, it would have been interesting to see where Barry had actually caught him then, because Mandika's now got a meatball. So we'll have a look back and see that one in a minute. Actually, we can do that right now. He's been off on 10, lap 12, lap 13. He's been off the track as well. So Emmanuel Mandika's been off a good old few times here. Oh, he's not stopping it. Ouch.
Yeah. Straight on and straight into the wall there, unfortunately, for Mandika. So that's a bit unfortunate for the Swiss driver. And yeah, look at the damage there as well. You can see him trying to figure out how much steering damage he's got, while also trying not to ruin everyone's day. That was Phil Glover around the outside there, who did lose a bit of time because of that, by the way, and Steve Webb has caught right up to him. But yeah, Mandika can barely turn right.
Yeah.
And at a circuit where there's only one left-hander, that's pretty bad news. So Mandika's going to be the one who misses out on the reverse grid here. As we know, top 10 reversed means that only one miss out, and looks like that will be Mandika with that meatball flag there.
Yeah, exactly. Believe it or not, there's only 2 people that are trading positions in this whole race. One of them is Heinz Braun, and the other one is Stefan Mellis, who's got himself inside the top 10, so he'll start on the front row in the 8. But they're the only 2, Heinz Braun and Stefan Mellis, are the only 2 that have changed positions. So, yeah, unfortunately, everybody else, well, not unfortunately, it could be fortunately for them, everybody is still where they started.
Yeah, as I say, only 2 positional changes, which is pretty remarkable. Very, very tricky to overtake. It's such a high-speed layout as this is. As I say, there's 2 chicanes at Lime Rock that you can add. There's one of them. It's to the inside of the uphill right-hander, which is probably the better of the 2 chicanes, but it also misses out the best corner. Then there's this chicane as well.
Which is horrible.
Which almost
Sorry.
It's a bit more awkward, that's for sure.
I love it. You're politically correct, going, it's awkward. I'm just there going, no, it's gross. It's horrible.
I don't know. I wouldn't go as far as gross personally. It's not the best chicane in the world by any means, but
no,
it's not. I've also seen worse. I'll put it that way. So anyway, Mike Booston sets the fastest lap of the race at last time round, a 44.8. Sorry, that's 23 thousandths quicker than James Barry's best lap time, which has now been eclipsed, but. Just not sure Bouson's got the time to actually get here and then make some overtakes.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that's the thing for Mike Bousson. Getting close is great, but passing's going to be a completely different one. I think that's going to be the interesting one for me. What is your most horriblest chicane?
In the world, oh dear, Braun off the road, and maybe Bousson will have a chance. In the world, have to give me some time to think about it, to be honest.
All right, take till the break.
Okay. Okay, yeah, go on then. I'll try and think about it, but yeah, I mean, there's a few contenders. Anyway, the gap is about a second for Braun, who may well be just letting go of chances that he could win this race in the next 2 laps. James Barry looks like he's holding on to that well, but what about the battle for second? Is Bousson going to have enough time here to actually get onto Braun? If the German makes a mistake like he did last time round, then maybe. As Boutsen goes wide, maybe that's going to give Braun the breathing space that he needs. Although Braun's wide now and he's off again into the final corner. So here comes Boutsen down towards turn 1. Not for an overtake this time, but certainly to put the pressure on.
Yeah, he's trying, isn't he, Mike, at the moment? He's closing in and in and in and in. He's getting closer, but as you say, the question is going to be, you can get close. Can he make the overtake? That's going to be the question.
Better through the corners, as we can see in the SR8. Now less than 4 tenths behind, but Braun goes for a spin and opens the door for Mike Boutsen. It's a great save in the end from Heinz Braun, who doesn't let this get any worse. He drops to 3rd, but it's no worse than that after a brilliant save, but he does lose out on his 2nd place.
Gutted for Heinz Braun there as well. Coming on to the final lap, we'll have a quick look at what he did. He just come down the hill, the grass on the outside, he clips the curb, runs wide, and then all of a sudden that was kind of it for Heinz Braun, and then he goes and does it again later on, as we can see here. Through again for Heinz Braun, and fortunately just locks up the wheels, goes all wrong, gets the slide on, and manages to stave it, which could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse.
It could have been. Boutsen will be breathing a big sigh of relief there, because he didn't have much space on the right-hand side to slip through, but he did, and he is going to finish 2nd as a result, going to win the class. Braun's rear tyres will be absolutely on fire at the moment, so Larson will be pushing him all the way to the line, but James Barry is going to come through and win this first race of the night, it looks like. He's back in the SR10 again, and back to winning ways again as well. Out of the final turn, and at Lime Rock Park, James Barry takes race 1 victory, with the SR8 honours taken by Mike Boutsen here in race 1. Braun does hang on just in front of Kjetil Larsen after that spin. So in the end, all of the top 8 back to where they started, because Braun had passed Boutsen, of course, on the start. That coming to an end eventually with that spin at the very end.
Yeah, and we didn't mention it, but he's got a podium in the 10 and 5th overall. Who is that? Bill Glover. Go on, son.
Yeah, very nicely done from Phil, which is fantastic to see. Look back to Mandika and Pavera across the line at the end. Mandika did get actually out onto the racetrack again at the end there, so does at least finish the race, but in 11th place here at the end of the day. So James Barry takes victory, 1.5 seconds in the end in front of Mike Boutsen. Heinz Braun is in the end 3rd out of Kjetil Larsen. Phil Glover rounds out the top 5 with a class podium, as you say. Steve Webb also in 6th place with a class podium in the SR8s. Then Ray Peasley, who will be behind Heinz Braun in the championship after that race, but has the chance to get it back again in race 2. Sergio Silva is in 8th ahead of Stefan Mellis and Dominic Pavera. That will be the reverse top 10 with Emmanuel Mandika inside 11th place at the end of that race. So just the one change in position there, pretty remarkably, but it just showed just how difficult it was to overtake. I've got to say, I wasn't expecting it to be that difficult around here at Lime Rock to the degree that it was, but my goodness, that was very, very hard to make any moves.
Yeah, it definitely was. That's why Mr. Barry is in YouTube chat. Is this as painful for you guys as it is for us? James, to be fair, if there's battles going on, I don't actually mind it. But driving around a second and a half away from each other, I feel your pain.
Well, yes, I mean...
It was hard, wasn't it? Because at the beginning of the race, they were all together, and then as the laps went on, they just spread out and out and out and out and out. So I get what he means. Yeah.
I mean, if I was winning, I wouldn't mind quite as much, but he's still complaining anyway. So.
I don't know. I haven't felt winning a race for ages, mate, to be completely honest with you. I mean, the last race I was me MX500. By the way.
Oh, yeah.
That was it.
Don't like to mention it, of course.
Hey, that's the first time I mentioned it for ages.
I know.
I like to point out.
Should have had an all-time counter on how many times. That was about 2 years ago, the actual win itself as well.
Yeah, and I got from last and finished first. Just pointing out.
Yeah. Didn't even intend to do the whole race.
No,
just
right.
won it.
Yeah, because I'm just that good. Oh, give me some props.
You'll have heard it plenty of times if you've been listening for a while. James said at least the first 2 or 3 laps of this one should be good, and that is probably true as we do the reverse grid once again here. Top 10 reversed, so only Emmanuel Mandika missing out on it. I won't read the entire grid out because, as I say, it's basically how they finished last time out. But reversed. So Pavera on the pole, Mellis alongside. Now that was the only change actually. Pavera started the last race in front of Mellis before being overtaken early on. And well, there's going to be certainly more than that in terms of changes in this second race.
Agreed. That's what we're looking forward to. Hopefully we'll see what goes on. It's going to go by very thick and fast, but the first guys, James Barry said, the first couple of laps are going to be very exciting because we're going to have the fastest guys coming through. So that could be an interesting one to keep an eye on here as well. So we're going to find out how these guys get on. And for some reason, Mr. Barry still won't change class on my system, so it's driving me absolutely bonkers. But I can promise you now, he is in an SR10. And he's driving me bonkers, keep changing cars as well, if you're listening, James.
Yeah, yes. Well, he won't be anymore. Hopefully he'll be concentrating on the lights as we get ready for race 2. The reverse grid race at Lime Rock Park underway, and look at Mike Boutsen, shot out of a cannon in the background there as he comes towards turn 1, already making up 1 or 2 places. Contact on the outside for Glover, who's going to go into a spin. Ketil Larsen looks to be involved. He's also off, coming through, and he's down to the back of the field. Glover goes into a half spin and he's down to 11th. But Pavera holds on to the lead. Then it's Patricio Silva up to 2nd. Stefan Mellis is down to 3rd. Mike Boutsen's up to 4th. As we try and look through the trees here, he's ahead of Ray Peasley. What a start from Mike Boutsen, who might well be on his way to SR8 victories in race 1 and 2. And he turns underneath Stefan Mellis, and already, after half a lap, he's in front of the SR8 field in race 2.
Wow. Go Mike. I'll give him props on that. That was blinking amazing. He literally flew off the line, cleared as many people as possible, and he's up to 6 places by the end of lap 1. James Barry's not far behind him. He's on 5 as well. He's clearing Mellis and everybody else. But Mike, go on, son. I'm going to have a look back and see what happened to Phil Glover, but I'll get the first couple of laps done out of the way first before we do that, because Boutsen's now climbing all over the back of Dominic Pavera.
Yeah, Pavera's just lost the lead, by the way, to Patricio Silva, who's not had a bad start either. He started from 3rd, and he's already in the lead here. Boutsen looking to the inside into the uphill at turn 5. He's not quite going to manage that, but he needs to do it quickly because James Barry's right there behind him already, looking for an exit here towards 6. Is he going to get there? Oh, it's a half look from him over the top of the hill. Here comes Barry surely on the exit now as they come down the hill. It's not quite going to happen for him, so it's surely all going to happen in towards turn 1. And Boutsen's just rolled out the red carpet. He's gone wide, and James Barry slips straight through. It's an SR10 1, 2, 3. Pavera trying to preserve his 2nd place. Defends to the inside, but Barry breaks later. And on the inside, he's up to 2nd place already. Surely the massive favourite to take back-to-back victories tonight.
Yeah, he definitely is. And Boutsen's going to be kicking himself there. Absolutely kicking himself. He had one job. He just had to clear Pavera, who's making it very, very difficult indeed. Now he's got to slow down. He moves off the line. Boutsen and Braun both go through, in through the corner now, uphill. Over the jump they go, and it's going to be a mission because they've got to try and catch James Barry, and it's going to be very, very tough indeed. Barry, though, is not going to have it easy. He's got Silver in front of him at this moment in time, but lots of battles happening. Ketil Larsen fighting out as well. He's tucked in behind Peasley, but this could be Boutsen's opportunity if he can hold it, or has the 10 got too much pace? 10's got too much pace.
Well, he turned back underneath. Oh, he needed to use the cornering ability of the SR8 there through turn 1 and 2, but he couldn't do it as James Barry puts the pressure on Patricio Silva for the lead. By the way, I'd really like Silva to put himself in the way for about 20 laps here and try and hold on, but he's not going to. Barry just turns underneath him, coming towards turn 5, and Silva realises the sensible choice, which is to let him go, although he has hung it around the outside through turn 5. That comes to an end rather quickly, and so James Barry is into the lead. It's taken him 4 laps to go from 10th to 1st at Lime Rock Park. An unbelievable run through the field, which has given him the race lead, and I'm not sure he's going to be seen again.
No, I don't think he is on this one. Ketil Larsen's tucked in behind Peasley. Peasley's on a big old defence. He can't lose more and more points to Braun, otherwise I think he's going to lose the lead anyway. Larsen's trying to go around the outside of 1. Peasley's just on our inside. There's Pavera in front of it as well. Peasley's got to be strong because Pavera isn't as quick. No detrimental effect. I'm sorry if you take it that way, but you're not. So Peasley's got to play this rough. He's got to try and get hold of him, get him out the way as quickly as possible so Larsen doesn't jump him here, otherwise Peasley could be in deep, deep trouble. Yeah, indeed.
Heinz-Braun's been continually just dipping a couple of wheels off into the grass, by the way, as he's trying to get up to 2nd place, now behind Silva on the way towards turn 1. He gets to the inside, and surely he's going to be able to get himself through here into 2nd position. And nicely done, Heinz-Braun through into 2nd in front of Patricio Silva here in race 2. So those battles in the top 3 are sorted, and at least until Mike begins to challenge Silver. But Pavera, Peasley and Larson are another 3 who are very close at the moment. Larson were also caught up on the opening lap with the likes of Phil Glover, so he needs to try and make some progress back through the field, and Peasley's defending into some of these corners because the SR8 is better through the turns, and Larson's trying to use that big slide from Peasley, who manages to hold on to the place again.
Yeah, do you know the interesting thing, around that corner and through West Bend, the 10 seems to be able to carry so much more speed. It's absolutely bonkers. But now Larson's going to get a run off the final corner. He ain't got the speed just ain't there for the 8 at the moment. It's going to be hard on the brakes. He's trying to go around the outside to Kettle Larson. If he manages to hold on to this one, I will be absolutely astounded. He's going to have the inside line for 2. He goes through. Absolutely stunning run from Kettle Larson. I didn't actually think he would hold that one, but he definitely did. Mike Bousson climbing all over the inside of Silver. He can't quite get there at the moment.
Oh, that was very nicely done. Very nicely done indeed from Kettle Larson, who will now be having a look at Pavera. See if Bousson can do something similar, because he's going to have to in the SR8. He gets right in behind the 10 there, but he can only take the slipstream on the way down in towards turn 1. Now Silver's surely going to go on the defensive. Oh, Bousson looking for a dive. That could have been very dangerous. It's actually put Silver off. It's actually served its purpose in the end. Bousson didn't make any contact with Silver. He just scared him out the way, really. And he moves then up to 3rd place. Here comes Larson again with his cornering ability. Going around the outside of turn 3 this time. Oh, Peasley was trying to get involved. But Larson, undeterred, is going to go round the outside of 3, inside at 4. And he's into the top 5.
Oh, Peasley took the wrong line. He took the wrong line and he ended up spinning it up, and we might just be able to catch it here. You can see he gets very, very close to Pavera and just unfortunately has to slam on the brakes, gets the slide on, and unfortunately for Ray Peasley, that takes him back. At the same time, Kettle Larson's got a sweet round in. So yeah, well, this is what we were talking about with Peasley. He had to be aggressive to clear Pavera, and unfortunately he was just either too aggressive or he just picked the wrong line, and Peasley's off. It's all just unraveling now for Ray Peasley, and off he goes off the circuit. I do want to have a look back, Ewan, if we can, really quickly, at what happened to Phil Glover right at the start.
Yeah, it was on the outside and sideswiped a little bit and goes into a spin and then a proper spin. Larson actually just unlucky, really, just had to brake to avoid and got slowed down. But yeah, a bit of side-to-side contact. Was that Silver or Pavera? Steve Webb, was it, who made side-to-side contact with him?
Yeah, he made... then he goes all wrong. Webb then...
Maybe it was Webb, actually, yeah.
That looked late.
Very late.
Yeah, well, he wasn't late on the dive. I think it was late on the defence. Watch this.
You can't be expecting room on the inside there.
Yeah, I don't know if there was it looked like there was a late move across the track. I don't know if that's Mandika, because him and Pavera are in the same watch.
Not really.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll allow people to take that one. Barry must have made a mistake, because Heinz Braun, is tucked up right behind him. Barry did make a mistake, and this was it going into turn number 1.
Oh, wide at turn 1 again. This time much further off the racetrack. Actually does a good job of recovering, because otherwise he would have lost the lead there. So Heinz Braun now does have a chance. Here comes Phil Glover on his recovery. Straight line speed and straight past Stefan Mellis. Also Peasley trying to use the same on Steve Webb, who is a lap down, and he puts him behind. So yeah, Phil Glover will look to do the same next, but Peasley needed to do that quickly so that he could keep as much distance as possible from Phil Glover, who's charging up behind him now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the interesting thing for me is not the fact that Peasley can now do the job. You're just wondering, he should have done the job a while ago. But him and Phil are very, very close on pace here. Both in late 46s to early 47s. So if Glover can get Webb out of the way, him and Peasley could have a nice little tidy battle here, because they're both running about the same time.
There goes Glover, also dispatching of Steve Webb. So that'll be the first time they've seen each other since a bit of contact made earlier on. Glover easily gets through, putting a lap on on Steve Webb there, and again Stefan Melitz will now try and do the same easily in the next few moments. Braun has seemingly made a mistake himself now at the very front, because Mike Booston has caught him now through this part of the lap. So
I just noticed that's gone down to 4 tenths. So I don't know what Braun did, but whatever he did, he cost him a little bit here, and Bouson's now tucked in behind him. It's whether or not he's going to be able to get close. I think the main area of battling that we are going to see could be coming out of this one very, very shortly. You see Phil Glover is actually bringing that time down exponentially here over Ray Peasley, and he gets it down. He jumps nearly 2.5 tenths on that run down into turn number 1, and he's just right up behind Peasley now. This is going to be a cracker here. 46.19 Peasley, 46.22 Glover. This is going to be very, very close.
It might well be, but generally in these battles so far, the driver with the track position, if it's been close, then the driver with the track position is the one that often takes it right the way to the end. We're approaching half distance here in this second race of the day, just 33 laps round 2, which is not much more than 25 minutes as far as a race is concerned, so it's not much. Oh, Webb! Big tank slapper in the background, and he's crashed a long way away from the final corner. That just shows how long the slide was going on for. Eventually able to avoid the wall, mostly. I think he did graze it as he comes. Oh, no, he didn't even graze the wall. Very well avoided there from Steve Webb.
That must have been a proper moment. Do you see that? It went right, then it went left, then it kicked right again, and unfortunately when it went right he couldn't stop it. But that looked absolutely awesome. I bet Steve Webb's, bless his little old heart, has had a right old panic on after that one. Glover's dropped back a little bit from Peasley in sector 1, but he generally picks up through the final sector here for Phil. So it's going to be interesting to see how close he can actually get to Ray Peasley as the time starts coming down. I wonder if that, because obviously it's an open setup, I wonder if that's a different on high downforce, low downforce, medium downforce. I think that could be the thing here, but Phil Glover doing a stellar job working his way through, and if he can clear, please. Oh no, he can't.
Not like that, he can't. Going wide through turn 1. Brown's done something pretty similar, just coming off the road, and he's off the road again, and he's crashed, has he? I think Braun has crashed here. He went off initially through the uphill. He was trying to get past somebody, Mandika, I think that is. He was trying to, and then he's got grass all over his tyres. He tries to go in at the same speed. Good save again. He's good at saving these slides, but he's also getting himself into these precarious situations in the first place. So that's cost him second place.
Yeah, it has, unfortunately. Vines Braun is now in 3rd overall. Bousson leading the 8s, Barry leading the 10s, and Larson tucked in behind Patricia Gomez. I'm wondering, though, how much has Mandika played a part in this? How much did Mandika play the part where Braun was tucked in behind him? Because he caught him in a horrible position through the uphill. So there wasn't a whole load of room for Braun to go. And then he pulled out, and then unfortunately there was no braking. He was still on the grass at the moment he went to brake, and then unfortunately that just spun him round. So I'm wondering how much Mandika played. We've also got there we go, look at this. Go on, son, you need to dive him, you need to dive him, you need to...
Oh no, that was a bit, well, he had to do it, I suppose, but there was contact, and Phil Glover's going to take them both here because of his run through the final turn. He's certainly going to get ahead of Peasley, who moves over to one side. They might actually work together to box him in here, Phil Glover, and he has to back out of it on the outside. And there goes Vera straight off at turn 1 under the pressure. So Peasley does get that place in the end, and Phil Glover also follows through.
Yeah, I did say that once they clear Pavera, I think it could be a straight fight between Peasley and Glover. I think Larson is going to have a right old go here. Look at him crawling all over the back of Patricio Silva. If he can't do it on the infield, it's going to be tough for him to do it on the straight. The 10's still got a little bit extra more pace. Mandika's got a penalty. I think that's due to off-track limits. And Larson's just got nothing on the straight for the 10 at this moment in time. But he is getting very, very close through sector 1 and 2.
Very close indeed. And yeah, Silva does hold the advantage because he's got the straight line speed in the SR10. He's also got the track position at the moment over Ketil Larson, which might well decide this battle, but let's wait and see as they run now down towards the uphill. And fast right-hander. Larson's going to have to try... Oh, he slides away over the top of the hill there. He's going to have to try and look for a way through here anywhere if he can. Now more time gained, and looks to the inside, can't do it there. He's going to get a run out the final turn, but as soon as he gets even close to the SR10, it's going to start to pull away. Even with the slipstream, it's going to start to pull away on the front straight. So Larson's going to have to get creative here to try and make his way through, but he has already passed 2 people on round the outside through either turn 1 and 2 or turn 3. So he has done it before, and they'll no doubt be looking to do it again.
He will be looking to have a go here, but my fear is he can clear Silver, but then Silver's got the straight. So can he hold him? He's got to be sort of 3 or 4 tenths away from Silver, in front of Silver once the overtake's done, to try and nullify that straight. Otherwise, he's going to get done again on the straight. So Larson's got a little bit of thinking to do here. He's got to be thinking, right, I can get him in the corners, but I can't hold him here. So he's got to be done early on. He's got to try and get him done through sectors 1, 2 at the latest, to try and open up enough of a gap on that straight through the Samposi that he can get away from him and not have Silver come back at him going back into 1.
Through the first sector, he's not got it done this time round. By the way, Mike Booston's called up to James Barry here. Well, I suspect James Barry just wants to fight with somebody, based on what he was saying in the chat earlier. Doesn't seem to be enjoying this circuit really at all, even though he's going quite well round here today. So a battle for the lead is upcoming as well, but here goes Larson again through the final turn. He gets to within a quarter of a second, and then Silver pulls away again. Nothing Larson can do from back at this distance. He can just follow along behind in this quite frustrating battle for him. Although now he's got to the inside, Silver with a bit of a mistake. Does that give... Oh, he just slides Larson. He can't get to the outside for turn 3, which he has managed in the past. He can't do it again this time. No,
Bouston's got the gap down to 2 tenths here, but as you say, and I don't want to put it in the only way I know how to put it, but is Barry playing with his food here? Because he as you say, he's not an overly loved... No, hold on, I'll get my words out. Overly in love with this circuit, as he's put in YouTube chat there. But is he just looking for a little bit of a fight? Is he looking to have a little bit of a battle, having a good time? Because at the moment, he's out in front. He was getting the fastest. He got the fastest lap as well. Wasn't really playing with anybody. And at the end of the day, maybe he is just tinkering with his food here.
I wonder whether that is the case. Let's see here. As Bouston gains again through the turns. Oh, he threw it over the uphill that time. Absolutely threw it up the hill. And he was definitely up in the air for a moment. But again, these are not the places to be quick, because these are not the places where you're going to actually make the passes. And Barry able to be fast out the final turn. Obviously fast on the front straight with the power advantage that the SR10 holds. And Bouston can't get near once again. I'm not sure how, just not sure how he's going to actually make this pass here. Bouston, as much as he's putting on the pressure, it's just not really happening for him as far as actually creating a chance to overtake is concerned.
Yeah, I don't know how he's going to be able to get this done. He's in the same place as Larson's in. If Larson can't get him on the corners, he's going to struggle to pull him away on the straight. And Bouston's in the same thing. He needs to be able to get Barry through turn 1 or 2 to then use, the rest of the short track that we have got to be able to pull away, and he just can't. And Larson's in the same boat. He closes up all day through this section, but watch as soon as Silver, I held my breath there, as soon as Silver gets onto the straight, it's see you later.
Yeah, and if you make a mistake through the corners, as Larson just did there, sliding through turn 6, then you've got even less of a chance, as you can see down here, in towards turn 1. So, yeah, Larson is going to have to continue searching here in this battle for 4th position. James Barry still in front of Mike Bouston, out front as well by just over half a second. He runs slightly wide through turn 6 that time, so he'll get a little bit closer, but not too much to worry him. Only 9 laps to go as well, which means a very small amount of time remaining in this race for either of these two, either Larson or Bouston, to make these passes.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. I can't see this happening. I can't see Larson getting over Silva, and I can't see Buisson getting over Barry, and that's no disrespect to them. It's just unfortunate that they have not got the pace again. And we talk about this week in, week out. We said about the 8s maybe just need to go up a half a percent or even 1% of power to give them something to fight with on that straightaway, especially on circuits like this. Great in the corners. Look at Larson go. But this isn't an easy track to overtake, and he can't do it coming out through the uphill. He can't do it going into West Bend, and then as soon as they get on the straights, he's gone.
He was the closest he's been for a little while out turn 4 this time, but again, that's just not where you want to make a move. Within 2 tenths this time, coming out the final corner as well. But then Silva breaks the slipstream a little bit. He uses the straight line speed, and Larson suddenly has no chance towards turn 1 and 2. Silva going a little bit wide though. Now he's got to turn underneath him and go round the outside at 3. This might be his best chance of the race here for Kjetil Larson. Round the outside through 3, gets in the inside at 4. Silva's just got his nose in front, but now he's going to be pushed out. Kjetil Larson up to 4th place. It did take a small error from Silva, but Larson has taken his opportunity and he's taken 4th place.
He needs to be a lot further away though. He needs to be further away, because that gap will come down. It will come down quite quickly. He's out of 4.5 tenths at the moment for Larson. He needs it at about half a second, which it is. He could survive here. I'm not going to say he will, but I'm saying he could survive Kjetil Larson, and he has survived this time around. Now, if Silvers can't get near him in the corners, this should be Larson's 4th place overall.
Yeah, it looks like you've got to get through 1 full lap here ahead without really being challenged, and Larson certainly has managed that. He didn't even have to take any different lines or anything through this lap. So yeah, he's absolutely got this position now in 4th, as long as he doesn't make another mistake, and that will be, yeah, I'd say a 4th place finish for him if he can stay here. So the top 4 are all exactly the same as in race 1. Barry leading Buisson, then Braun, then Larson. That's how they finished in race 1, and how they're running with 6 laps to go in race 2 as well.
And it looks like, judging by this, they're going to actually stay that way. And I don't think anything's going to change here either. I think this could be how they end up staying. The only difference is at the moment is Silva is ahead of Peasley, and Peasley needs to get ahead of him. And the next 8 is Mellis, who's a long way back, but believe it or not, takes a podium in the SR8. So yeah, great job from Stefan Mellis there, because Buisson's should take the victory, Larson, and then it will be Mellis on the podium. So this is the moment now. Like you see, Larson's pulled away, and at the moment he's opened up 1.6 over Gomez behind him, and that's going to be that. I think they're going to be as they are for the next 4 laps.
Yeah, I think so. All the gaps more than a second, usually a sign. Things are going to stay as they are. Steve Webb has been catching Manuel Mandica in recent times, but he made a mistake a couple of laps ago towards turn 1, just as Larson and Silva were battling, and Larson's gone off now himself. Although Silva not close enough to actually take advantage. So
he followed him.
Well, nearly, yeah. Larson went further off than that, but yeah, he did nearly follow him there, Silva. So, yeah, not able to take his chance, Silva. And, yeah, as expected, these two look like they're going to stay as they are right to the end.
Yeah, he does at the moment as well. Steve Webb's got a penalty. I think that's for off-tracks. I think he's been trialling the areas that he can go off and gain time, but at the moment he has got a penalty for it. 4 laps to go, 3 laps. Well, Barry's got 3 laps to go, this one and 3 more. So that's 4 technically, this one and 3 more, but there we go. But Buisson, yeah, back out to 1.1 seconds.
Oh, we were talking earlier about James Barry and how far he could get up the championship here if he comes to every race from now. He's only been at 2 so far this season until today. But this is the first time in the season he's been in the SR10, so he's going to suddenly be scoring points to a new table. In the championships that do exist, though, Heinz Braun will now be ahead of Ray Peasley, and there'll be an SR10 championship lead change. And Mike Buisson might be ahead of Simon Renan now, because Simon Renan's missing his first race of the season here, and Buisson's had 2 second places in class, in overall, of course, but in class 2 race victories in the SR8. So we might well have 2 new championship leaders by the time we come back next week at Zolder.
Yeah, absolutely, and fair play to him for Mike on that one. He's been battling hard in the 8s to make it work, and he has managed to overturn and get up into the top 1 over Simon Renard. So fair play to him. That will come down to the final end of the season. Half a second to go, and just about coming into 2 laps remaining.
Well, Booson's getting pretty close here as well late on, as James Barry just begins to maybe think about how he's going to celebrate. Booson's just putting that pressure on right at the end to try and unnerve him in the final few moments. Let's wait and see whether he can actually manage that, though, as they come in towards turn one. Booson drops to about 8 tenths behind. He's got to have a very good middle sector here, Booson, to just put that pressure on when the white flag waves.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to be trying to be in and around him at the moment, but unfortunately it looks like he might not be able to get close enough here, Booson. He's got one more to have a go, but the question is he going to be able to get there?
He's closing. Booson is definitely closing here on James Barry, but he might well run out of laps. The white flag is being readied here, and there will be 1 lap to go as they cross the line this time round. A weave from James Barry, as if to acknowledge the final lap and acknowledge the challenge that Mike Booson is putting onto him. He's got to nail turn 1 first of all, and he does exactly that. He's made a couple of mistakes there in the first 2 races into here, but he looks like he's in the clear this time.
Yeah, he does. I think this is going to be a victory lap from James Barry. I think that's going to be it at the moment. I don't think Booson's going to have any answer. I don't think he's going to get close enough, and Barry, unless Barry does again what we said about just playing with his food here and bring Booson in. On the uphill he goes through round the final couple of corners. Is this going to be Booson's win?
Well, it's going to have to be a mistake from Barry, and a late change if it is. Through the final turn, James Barry takes a tighter line. It's going to be close, and it's going to be James Barry's victory. Just over a tenth of a second in front of Mike Booson, who takes both SR8 victories today. Heinz Braun completes the podium, and Kjetil Larsen will complete the exact same top 4 as what we saw in race 1. He probably had the most battling race of those who finished in the top 4, because I forget he was 10th as he came out of turn 2 on the opening lap, but he finally got past Patricio Silva towards the end there and got back to 4th place. Yeah,
great job from him. Peasley comes over the line in 6th there. So fair play to Ray Peasley, coming over the line in 6th place as well. Loses points to Braun. I think that's going to put Braun at the top of the standard, should we say, going into the next race. So great job from him. Dominic Pereira comes over the line in 5th. And he finishes the race there as well. So well done to them ones on that. And a great run from everybody.
Indeed, James Barry takes victory in race 2 by just over a tenth in front of Mike Booson. Heinz Braun in 3rd in the end on the podium. And say Kjetil Larsen, same top 4 as in race 1. Patricio Silva got into the top 5 there ahead of Ray Peasley, who loses his championship lead in the SR10s. It's Phil Glover. He gets back to 7th there with Dominic Pereira in 8th, last driver on the lead lap. Stefan Mellis was 1 down. Mamoru Bandika 2 down. Steve Webb 6 laps down. I think retired quite late on from that race in the end. Well, while we're waiting for the others to get into the booth, we'll bring in Phil Glover, shall we? The driver who finished in the top 5 in race 1 here today. Phil, welcome in. Good to have you back in the series, and good to have you back in the top 5 as well in race number 1 here tonight. Just was this a circuit you were looking forward to this season at Lime Rock Park? Because you seem to have a very good qualifying in race 1, certainly here today.
Yeah, it takes me back to when I first started with iRacing. We used to do a lot around here. To be honest, I can't even remember when we've done this, whether we've ever done it before, to be honest, unless you tell me otherwise.
I was saying the same thing earlier. I can't remember ever coming here in the Radicals.
In the 5 or 6 years I've been doing this, I can't remember doing it. But yeah, it was quite enjoyable, to be honest. Don't really have much to say about the second race. But the first one was okay.
Yeah, the first one was very good for you. We're just watching a slow-mo replay that James has put up of what happened at the start of the second race, which is nice. Just tell what happened there from your perspective, because it wasn't as good of a race in the end for you. You still managed to get back to 7th, but tell us about the opening lap incident there and you come back through the field.
To be honest, I can't really remember what happened. I think it was quite tight into some of those few cars around me. I think I got a tap somewhere, and or did I just drive onto the grass? I don't know.
There was a bit of contact.
Didn't last that long, was there?
There was a bit of contact, yeah.
My fault, or do you think anybody else's?
No, I don't think it was your fault. I think it was sort of side to side. It might have been one of those lap 1 things, to be honest. There was initial contact, then there was actually secondary contact with Heinz Braun that I didn't actually realise about, which actually instigated the spin itself. But there was a bit before that as well. It just seems like one of those lap 1 things, really.
Yeah, and I mean, I did have pace, so I was catching back up again, and then I made a few silly errors down the back straight into that turn one. Just being a little bit overzealous, I think. But I caught a few people up, caught Ray back up again until I messed up, and then I think I cooked my tyres by that point. I couldn't seem to reduce the gap anymore.
Well, we're still managing to get back to 7th place in race 2. We'll go along with the top 5 in race 1. Congratulations on that here, Phil, tonight. And thanks for coming to chat to us at the end. We'll see you next week at Zolder.
Yeah, where was most of the overtaking done? Because it's quite a tricky track to overtake on.
Nowhere.
not many overtakes. Turn 1, if it was going to happen, or certainly through the first sector, I would say.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. All right, Zolder. Yeah.
Yes.
Zolder's quite nice, isn't it? Yeah, maybe I'll quite like that as well.
Yeah. We'll wait and see. Thanks very much for this week, Phil, and we'll see you at Zolder.
Yeah. Take care, guys. Cheers. Bye.
Thanks very much, Phil Glover. There with a top 5 in race 1, a 7th place in race 2, and in the meantime, some of the guys at the top, although James Barry's still not come to join us yet. Hopefully he'll pop in before the end, but Mike Booston is there waiting, so we'll bring him in now. Sorry, Mike, interrupting your conversation with Ray there. Congratulations on 2 SR8 victories tonight, and a very nearly an overall victory at the very end there, as you were putting the pressure on James, or did you get the sense that he was slowing down for you just so that he could have a fight with somebody as he was feeling a bit lonely at the front, or did you feel that was a proper fight for the win?
I'd like to think it was that maybe he was going to run short on fuel, because I also put in plenty of fuel, but also literally just as I come across the line, started spluttering. So I wonder whether or not we were all caught out maybe by the amount we were burning off in the end. But the SR8 was quickest in a certain couple corners, so I think the problem I went was I committed myself to a short stack, as you may have noticed right at the end of the straight. They just pulled away, and then obviously it was the infield stuff that I caught him on, so I needed to catch him in the right place in the sort of third corner or something, and then sort of do an overtake there, otherwise he would have just come back at me, sort of thing. So, but I was happy with the result. It's nice to see that a high downforce setup against a high downforce setup, I assume it is a relatively high downforce setup, they're a bit closer together.
Yeah, but
before I hear it in my ear.
Yeah, well, yeah, we have been talking about it the last few weeks. Certainly,
I'm not slow. It's just the setup.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was on this occasion, talking about Lightning Rock, it was a plan for you, because it did seem that not just you but all the SR8s actually were a little bit slower on the front straight, and then by the time obviously you got down towards turn 1, not quite close enough to actually make any overtakes. And in the end, some of you were able to make some progress. I mean, you got up to second still, making up 7th place in race 2, for example, and a few others as well. But it was actually planned this time around, was it, to be?
10 was able to punch out of that last corner much better, and they seem to handle mowing the grass a lot better. Now, I don't like me to say anything, but obviously the SR10 seems to go 4-wheel drive very well, where the SR8 does not like taking an extra bit of track. So it was hard getting down to the first corner close enough to obviously have the benefit of I think the SR8, the SR10 really struggled on what would be corner 1, corner sort of 3, 2, 3, 4. You've made up so much room time there, but they just really had a good exit on the last corner.
You say that, I mean, to be fair, Heinz Braun made 2 mistakes in the grass to let you through on, I think, if not one of the races, then both of them.
Well, I'd like to think, Ewan, it was just the sheer pressure I put him under.
Of course.
Scared him offline. and crashed.
Yeah,
or
I'm sure that's what it was.
It got to be because it happened twice, really, didn't it?
Oh yeah,
So,
mate, that's exactly what it was. Yeah.
That is science.
Yes. It
Yeah,
did happen
that is
twice.
science. Yeah.
So there you are. Congratulations on 2 SR8 wins here tonight, Mike, at Lime Rock. And thanks for coming to chat to us at the end of the night as well.
Well, pleasure as usual. Hope James has a lovely rest tonight.
I will do.
All right, mate. Catch you soon.
See you later, mate.
Thanks very much. Mike Booston, the SR8 winner on both occasions here tonight. Ray Peasley finished in 7th and 6th place here today in the 2 races and joins us now as well. Before we go, Ray, welcome in and good to have you with us. How did you find tonight at Lime Rock? I've got to say, we didn't see too much of you actually, but so how did you find it?
When we did Ray, I've got to be honest, you did make a mistake.
I did. And you got that one, did you?
Yeah, we did, yeah. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, it was a bit mediocre, I think. I was just saying to Phil, it was like, when everything was going fine, I wasn't gaining on anybody and I wasn't losing time. It was just going lap, lap, lap. And then when I lost a little bit, Phil caught up with me. We had a bit of a race and then Phil was losing it on the big bend. It was late braking, later than me. And then losing it, and that's where I lost it on the big bend. Oh yeah, I don't know what to do about that race. I really don't. It's but yeah, it's just. I think it was it 2/4 or 4/5, something like that.
6th in race 2 and I think 7th in race 1.
I was 7th. I was not as good as I thought then.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about overall. I
of course, yeah. Yeah, overall,
4th in race 2 for the class, definitely. I don't know about race 1. That's complicated maths. But
that means we've got to have a memory, Ray, and we really don't have that.
Well, the problem is we don't see the race 1 results on the timing after it's finished anymore. Just where you obviously where you start for race 2 depends on where you finish. So I could work it out if I was good at maths.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, we could just put it on the screen. There we go.
1, 2,
that's good.
3, 4.
4 again. Yeah. So 2/4.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, it's not too bad. So I know me and Pat, we're pretty close with points wise. So, and I think I was ahead of him in the first heat, and then Pat beat me. Patricio, I think his name is. Do you call what's his other name?
Patricio Gomez Silva. We call him
Gomez.
Silva.
Ah, okay. I heard you call him Gomez, and I couldn't see Gomez on his name. I thought it must be his middle name.
No, it's Silva.
But yeah, he's we had a good race, but then the feature, we was close up until I made a mistake. Something happened, and then we lost track. And I was just gaining him just towards the end. I was just gaining, but I didn't have enough laps. So yeah, that was it really. But yeah, it was an interesting race, but it's a short track for that car. I think. I don't know if we've done that before.
Yeah. That's what Phil Glover said to us in the last 5 or 6 years. He said he couldn't remember ever being here. I've got to say I've not done every week of this series for the last 5 or 6 years like Phil, but I don't remember it either for the last few years in weeks I've done either. So it might be a first. But did you? I get the sense that you were sort of a little bit sort of meh with this circuit and this car. Is it just the fact that it's too short, really, or is it just not very exciting? The fact that the corners are all so fast, is it not actually that exciting to drive?
Yeah, I don't think so. I thought it would be. I thought there was going to be loads of carnage, especially with that with the hill where you literally lift the car lifts off the ground. When me and Phil was like racing in practice, I could see his car lift inches like off the ground, and you feel it. It's a really weird feeling. If you go in slightly at an angle, you're gone. You're gone. You have to have a straight car when you hit that. But I thought there would be loads of carnage there. But there wasn't.
I see what you mean, certainly. But anyway, congrats on 2 fourth places in class here tonight, Ray. And thanks for coming to chat to us at the end of the night as well.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yes. Thanks very much, Ray Peasley. 2 fourth places in the SR10s tonight. 6th place in the overalls and 7th overalls in race 1 as well earlier on today. It looks like all we're going to get from James Barry is YouTube comments. He is unfortunately breaking Mike Brewson's heart because he said he was just extraordinarily bored at the front. He said the track's quite fun to drive though, so he was enjoying himself, and he's taken 2 race victories here tonight as well. I think this was a bit different to what we were expecting, really. Much less incident and accident, as Ray was saying, and very, very short laps, meaning it was actually much harder to overtake than I was expecting it to be as well.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. I thought it might have been a little bit more. We've got Robert Ridgway at YouTube chat as well. Robert, get yourself in here. He did drive an SR8, I think it was, round Nords. Did a great time there as well. So, yeah, be interested to see if we can get Mr. Ridgway in here as well to see how he gets on that one. He was 99th. Mr. Ridgway was fastest lap at Nords at Ringright Meister in the SR8. So there you go. He also sent me some dodgy message as well, which I'm not quite sure what it was. But yeah, maybe you can have a look at that for me. But overall, I thought it was a good race. It's just not enough overtaking. I thought there would have been more. I really did think there would have been more, but there's just not enough.
No, not too much here tonight, but still quite an enthralling lap to just watch around here at Lime Rock Park, to be honest, as we've had here tonight. So yeah, I hope everyone's enjoyed it here tonight at home. We'll be back at the same time, same place next week, of course, from Zolder. So yeah, make sure you join us then here on the JPB channel. I've been Ewan Leary alongside James Parfitt, and we see you in 1 week's time at Zolder. It's goodbye for now.
Yeah.